Hello and welcome back to QU All Access. I'm Ryan Snyder.
And I'm Derek Lambert. This week we'll update you on the success of QU's biology department in furthering education for students.
And we'll have the latest on the Illinois MAP grant funds.
But first, major news coming from the Illinois State Capitol this week that affects thousands of college students. Governor Bruce Rauner recently approved $600 million in emergency funding for major Illinois universities. The bill was signed Monday, April 25th, and $170 million was given to the Monetary Award Program, commonly known as the MAP grant. This bill is only a short-term solution, however, but it is a step in the right direction. For more on how this will be affected at Quincy University for students, tune into next week's Year in Review show.
This past week, Quincy University's Office of Student Engagement held their 28th Annual Leadership Award Ceremony. The ceremony celebrated the success of QU students for their respective on-campus groups. QU All Access reporter Evan Powell has more.
Sounds of applause and cheers highlighted the 28th Annual Award Ceremony hosted in the Hall of Fame room. As you can see, members of sororities, fraternities, and residence life enjoyed a night of celebration, but also were aware of its importance.
The Leadership Award Ceremony acknowledges students that don't necessarily get recognition because they're behind the scenes and they're creating events that are for the campus and the community. And then they make a big impact with Quincy University throughout the 4 years that they're here. So it's really important to, give them a special night and let them know that we appreciate them just as much as their organizations do.
The Greek Man of the Year award goes to Derek Lambert.
QU All Access's own Derek Lambert received a handful of awards, including one that no sophomore has ever achieved before.
Definitely a big Greek person, so I'm excited to see how things keep going. When having won 4 awards from my fraternity, it shows that the guys like me, the guys appreciate what I do, they recognize that I work hard, so that just, shows me that I just need to keep doing that to make us move forward.
For QU All Access News, I'm Evan Powell.
On the surface, Cooper Harrison is a normal college football player, but when you hear his story, you will find out what a true inspiration he and the cause he is working for truly is.
So basically what this means to me is helping kids like me. So that being said, leukemia is actually the #1 killer for kids under the age of 20. So it's a very deadly disease, and this means a lot to me considering I went through this and I made it. Just trying to raise awareness and help this organization. I'm trying to raise $20,000. That's obviously a big number, but I'm definitely more than halfway there, and I'm at about, I would say, $12,000 unofficially. But contacting me through social media, that's definitely the best way to find me. But just contact me. Find me. My email is cooperp.harrison@gmail.com. Also, if you just want to email me, I'm the best person to contact probably to get involved.
QU All Access took a trip to North Campus to see how the developmental biology class has been able to further their education with the recently renovated biology labs.
The new facilities have allowed us to do a lot more with live embryos and watching the development of those live embryos. We just received egg incubator, so now I can do experiments with live chicken embryos. We're in fact today watching chick development. We can see heartbeat, we can see neural tube formation and somite formation, which is very nice to be able to see this live rather than just looking at slides all the time.
Not only have biology students been able to look into chicken embryos, but because of the new technology, they're able to study mouse embryos.
We also have a brand new live imaging scope, so the students right now have stained the cartilage template for mouse embryos, and they're observing how that cartilage template changes and develops into bone through different stages of embryonic development.
QU All Access was able to speak with a biology student to get his take on the class and how the new technology has furthered his education.
The biggest thing with the working in the lab is that, you talk a lot about in the classroom. You talk about a lot of your experiences. You look at the pictures in the book, you look at them on the PowerPoint, but you really, for me at least, you really learn whenever you have the hands-on experience. So you actually see the heartbeat in the chicken embryo, or you see the staining of the mouse embryo, so you can really see, instead of just talking about it, you can really see how it actually works.
For QU All Access, I'm Derek Lambert.
Our final senior profile of the year is Patrick Kuehl. With just 2 weeks remaining in the school year, seniors will be starting the newest jobs in just a short amount of time. The senior from Decatur, Illinois will be traveling north in a few weeks to start his full-time position with Wilson Sporting Goods. He will most likely be working in their marketing department and is looking forward to living in a big city like Chicago and the possibilities it brings.
After graduation, I'm going to be starting moving up to Chicago to work at Wilson Sporting Goods in the Racket Sports Division, which is basically the tennis department and the marketing department of that. So basically, I'll be working at Wilson Sporting Goods as a marketer in the Racket Sports Division.
Communication majors attended a conference last weekend to further their networking with professionals and to learn a bit more about their future careers. 5 communication majors attended the Illinois News Broadcasting Association's Spring Convention in Springfield. There were various sessions about how to better yourself in the newsroom and how to make sure, as an employee, you know what you're supposed to do. Q All Access spoke to KMOV Assistant News Director Amanda Purdom and asked her why students should attend this conference.
In this industry, networking and relationship building is so crucial. So that would be the number one reason. Secondly, to continue to learn. At any stage of your career, it's really important to continue to learn. It's not only important for you, but it's also motivating. And when you, after going through a convention like this, you go back and you think of ways to do things differently or things you would want to do.
Trying to have some last-minute fun with some of your classmates before summer? Hawk Wild might be just the thing for you. Hosted by the university, the Hawk Wild Olympics are just around the corner. This Saturday, April 30th, Hawk Wild will be held on campus for students. Starting at 11 a.m. and running until 4 p.m., students can participate in the event, which will be held in the Student Center lawn. Don't miss out on all the fun.
Personally,
Speaking of Hawk Wild, one of the most liked events won't be happening this year. This event is often associated with the Hawk Wild Weekend. The Gauntlet, where Quincy students participate in teams trying to win prizes such as a TV, won't be happening this year. Due to budget limitations, Quincy Intramurals is unable to host the popular event. The Intramurals department hopes to have this event next year.
Every summer, students find something to do. Whether it's work, play a sport, or find an internship, Q All Access took a look at what students have planned for the summer of 2016.
Personally, I planned an internship with Bridgestone, mostly on the tire sales side, not so much the golf side. I'd really like to work in their sales department, hopefully in Dallas and Orlando.
Plan this summer is kind of to get ready for next year because I'm going to grad school next year for social work, and I'm actually going to UIC in Chicago. But besides that, I'll also be working, probably just a part-time job to get some extra cash, and I also plan on going on a few vacations.
So, since I'm graduating this semester, I am moving to New Jersey to live in a prayer and discernment house for women. It's like a transitional community, so I'm discerning religious life, being a nun. So, by living there, hopefully through that year of like discernment and prayer, I'll move on to missionary work or becoming a sister.
Well, I work at Jimmy John's, so I'll be doing that. Not really sure how long, or for how many days, but that and then soccer, practicing soccer as much as I can, and just getting ready for next year.
After the break, we'll have an update on the latest presidential primaries.
And we'll show you how one girl had her dream come true by an unexpected visit from the Commander-in-Chief.
The future of the program is very bright. It's an exciting time on QU campus because we have QU TV. We have a television station where students can experience working as a director, an anchor, a reporter, photographer, doing weather, doing sports. We also have a newspaper where students can report, be photo editors, be executive editors. We've got a lot of opportunity there working on the student newspaper. We also provide students with the opportunity to do magazine articles with heavy research and giving them a little bit more time to expand on articles and do some in-depth investigative work. Moving forward, it's exciting because all of the skills they learn in every avenue will translate into what we have in the future, and web writing and mobile writing and all of our distribution platforms. We have an incredible opportunity to grow the department, to grow the program, and to grow students into excellent journalists.
QUTV is more than a news outlet.
1 in 5 undergrads work at least 35 hours a week, year-round.
Students involved with QUTV learn life lessons, create lasting memories, and gain the experience needed to succeed in future careers. Students need to be involved with QUTV as a viewer or as a participant because we need to know what's going on around our campus. Knowledge is powerful, and QUTV News serves to inform not only the students, but the Quincy University community as a reliable and powerful news network.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are the clear front runners after Tuesday's primaries.
But one candidate is hoping to catch Trump by making a surprising announcement. Steve Nance has the latest.
This is a far bigger win than we even expected.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are closer than ever to securing their party's nomination.
I consider myself the presumptive nominee, absolutely.
We will unify our party to win this election.
Last night was a clean sweep for Trump. 5 states, 5 victories, while Clinton took 4 out of 5 contests. But their primary opponents aren't giving up quite yet. Ted Cruz desperately needs a win in Indiana next Tuesday.
Last night was Donald Trump's night, and today is Indiana's day.
In an effort to deliver much-needed momentum to his campaign, Cruz made a big announcement. If he becomes the nominee, Carly Fiorina will be his running mate.
This is a fight worth having. This is a fight worth winning. And with your help, we will win this fight.
Cruz has an uphill battle to climb. Trump now needs just 49% of the remaining delegates to win and prevent a contested convention. Today, in an effort to shift to the general election, he delivered a major speech on foreign policy in Washington.
Our foreign policy is a complete and total disaster.
He believes that U.S. allies must step up in the fight against terrorism.
The U.S. must be prepared to let these countries defend themselves.
As for the Democrats, Bernie Sanders is campaigning in Indiana today, and despite the long odds, he gave no indication that he's giving up anytime soon.
We are in this campaign to win and become the Democratic nominee.
In Washington, I'm Steve Nance.
There have been calling for President Obama to visit.
Now he's headed to town next week because of one letter written by the girl known as Little Miss Flint. And as Dave Bondi found out, she is something special.
I am excited.
8-year-old Mari Kopeny forgot that she and her mom, Lulu Brazil, had wrote the letter to President Obama asking for him to come to town. It was this morning when Lulu got an unexpected phone call from a White House spokesperson with the big news.
I'm like, really? He's coming and he wants to meet her? He's like, yeah, he really wants to meet her. That's why he wants to come to Flint. Like, it was her letter that finally got him to come here.
Part of Mari's letter to the president reads, quote, I am one of the children that is affected by this water, and I've been doing my best to march and protest to speak out for all the kids that live here in Flint, unquote. Mari already knows what she is going to say to Obama when it comes to the water.
It smells like bleach and old fish.
Obama wrote Mari saying in part, quote, I am so proud of you for using your voice to speak out on behalf of the children of Flint, unquote. Mari's mom is excited but wants this visit to be more than just a photo op. She wants and needs the president's help.
Yeah, I hope that maybe with him coming here, it'll open his eyes to how bad it really is and how it's not just people blowing it up and out of proportion, that he can see for himself.
Little Mari is a bit overwhelmed with all the attention. The president will find out, just like I did. You never know what this little girl is going to say. If I'm the president sitting here, what are you going to tell me? If I'm the president saying, what do you want me to do, young lady?
You sound nothing like the president.
Okay, I don't sound like the president. I know.
You're not him.
I know, I'm not, and I never will be.
He doesn't have that much hair.
Have not yet been finalized, and they have not decided, and Mari would like to say she wants the president to bring the dog with her.
A Bruce Springsteen concert the other night inspired New Jersey Governor Chris Christie to break out a few dance moves.
CNN's Janine Moose reports that the governor rocked out like no one was watching, but everybody was.
When Chris Christie's wife made that ever so subtle eye roll,
The only thing she's got going is the woman's card.
as Donald Trump slammed Hillary, we wondered what her husband was thinking. Was he reliving his wild and crazy night before? The governor didn't just clap his way through a Bruce Springsteen concert in Brooklyn. He belted his way. And played air guitar, and took selfies with strangers and then sang with them. And he didn't care that cell phones everywhere were spying on him. He didn't act trapped, he acted free. I've never seen such a display of such pure joy from one man, tweeted a concert goer. I mean, the guy is rocking out like no one's watching. Hey, when you're in a trance with your eyes closed, no one is watching. Even Christie critics at Gawker called him a concert hero. Guys, Chris Christie couldn't be cuter if he tried, tweeted another audience member. The New Jersey governor has idolized the boss since he was a boy. He's attended over 130 Springsteen concerts. Politically speaking, the governor and the rock star danced to the beat of a different drummer. Springsteen, a die-hard liberal, turned down Christie's request to perform at his first inauguration. But they shook and hugged it out at a Hurricane Sandy telethon.
He told me it's official. We're friends.
Even if the boss did once sing a parody about Bridgegate with Jimmy Fallon.
Who's stuck in the Governor Chris Christie for Lee, New Jersey traffic jam?
Now the one jamming is the governor. Jeannie Mo, CNN.
Coming up, Lainey Wade joins us with her weekly weather forecast.
And we have a mesmerizing video of a woman walking through a minefield. Stay with us.
Well, my first thought was, Brother Ed has set us up. He's got someone hiding in there. They're getting ready to jump out of the curtain and scare us, but yeah, there was no one else there, and I couldn't explain it. It's just one of those phenomenon.
I've always been a skeptic, and I've always thought that there was a rational explanation for all things like that, but being there when that all happened, we didn't have a rational explanation for why that happened.
There it was. Did you hear it?
Oh my
Can I hear it?
Oh gosh, wait, did you see that?
Yes. Growing up, I had one deaf friend, and that was the only deaf person I knew before coming to school here at QU. And now I regularly get to hang out and socialize with the deaf community, which has been awesome. Sign language isn't exactly like learning another spoken language because you use your body, facial expressions, your hands are your instruments. So it is definitely learning a new language. It has its own grammar and syntax and everything. It's not exactly like English like a lot of people think it is.
Welcome back. This past week has been full of thunderstorms and could potentially affect Hawk Wild and Quincy's Dogwood Parade.
Lainey Wade now gives us her forecast, and hopefully the weather clears up for Saturday. Lainey?
Yeah, the gray clouds have made their return to campus, as you can see. It has been a little bit wet and windy around campus all week. And if you're hoping for the sunshine and the beautiful weather, keep hoping, because it's not going to happen this weekend. We've had beautiful weekends for I don't know how many, but this weekend, not going to happen. So on Friday, we're going to have a overcast of clouds with a high of 66. Moving into Saturday, the rain is coming. It is going to be warm with a high of 65, but the rain is definitely there. And then on Sunday, we cool down. That rain has brought in a little bit of a cold front. As you can see, it's still going to be raining, and the high is only going to reach 59. So looking farther into the week, on Monday, that's when we see the sun again after a dark weekend of clouds and rain. It's going to be partly cloudy, and we're going to reach a high of 66. Then on Tuesday, we get another partly cloudy day, and we warm up just a little bit as our high reaches 70. Then on Wednesday, the overcast of clouds comes back, but we don't cool off as we reach a high of 73. Then on Thursday, it's going to be partly cloudy, and you will see a slight drop in temperatures as the high only reaches 69. So if you are going out there and doing Hawk Wild this weekend, my suggestion to you is to grab an umbrella, or better yet, a poncho, because the rain is going to be around. But it shouldn't stop you from enjoying a good time at Hawk Wild. That about wraps it up for this weekly Hawks forecast. I'm Lainey Wade, throwing it back to you, Ryan and Derek, at the desk.
Thanks, Lainey. In other news, a Russian woman tests out an explosive-proof suit by walking through explosions, and a fiery plane crash is caught on camera, and the pilot walks away nearly unscathed. Jeremy Roth has the latest.
Get ready to be blown away. Russia's deputy prime minister released amazing video of a woman in an explosion-proof suit being tested at an active minefield. She makes her way through a series of fiery explosions with a noticeable bit of swagger as her suit goes from white to black, charred from the huge flames. She then takes off her mask, tossing her long blonde hair, Farrah Fawcett style. The PM bragged in a Facebook post saying the Terminator has nothing on their sassy soldier. Oh, and she got a bouquet of roses for her efforts, which I guess is customary when you try to blow someone up. Speaking of smooth moves, check out this California skateboarder who's making a viral name for himself by slipping and sliding all over social media. When rains made it too slippery to skate, he ditched his board and decided to slide down some wet LA streets on his shoes instead. The slick vids are already trending on YouTube. Incredible surveillance video out of Alabama captured a small plane crashing into a tree and bursting into flames just as witnesses rush in to help. The cameras also captured nearby business owners reacting to the crash. Amazingly, the pilot escaped with only minor injuries to his hand, but said in the moment he feared the worst.
Yeah, I really did. I thought it was all over with.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Joins us with an update on the construction plans for QU Stadium.
And she gives her last recap of the semester. We'll be back shortly.
Come support your Quincy University baseball team this season. The Hawks compete in the NCAA Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference. Cheer them on as they play for a conference and national championship.
Come see the new renovations at QU Stadium. The turf infield gives the Hawks a great playing surface.
Come out and have some fun and support the QU Hawks baseball team this season.
For more information on the QU Hawks baseball team, go to QUHawks.com and click on the Sports tab and select Baseball.
Join me, Coach Marty Bell, head basketball coach of the Quincy University Hawks, live from Chicks on the River every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. or on ESPN 1440 for the Coach Marty Bell Show. Hear from our coaches and players as Ben and I recap the previous games and preview our upcoming opponents. Grab your friends and family and come out to Chicks on the River for a great meal and meet the Hawks. QU men's basketball, Chicks on the River, and ESPN 1440. A winning combination. And as always, it truly is.
Welcome back. The Quincy University baseball team will be saying goodbye to a longtime member of its team.
Carly Betancourt has the latest in sports.
Thanks, Ryan and Derek. With the completion of their new football stadium, Quincy University football has had something to show off. However, with the promised locker room by the new field still not finished, along with the visitors' locker room, negative responses could begin to happen. Not only could it be a possible deterrent for incoming recruits, but what is to be said for the current athletes already at Quincy University who were promised this locker room. Keith Craig said that he knew the plans were backed up during the summer with bad weather and the baseball and football seasons happening. The overall construction of the locker room was delayed.
I really don't think it's going to affect the recruiting at all because if you tell a recruit that we're going to get something new, they're going to be excited about it and they expect it to be done. But if it's not here when they get here, they still have a couple more years to wait on it. So if the project isn't done right away.
With the promises of a new locker room, the current players don't see it affecting recruiting. This year's Quincy University's baseball team has been on a roll. One person in particular has made sure that all of the players are kept in tip-top shape. Charlie Long is a designated trainer for the QU baseball team. With her second year underway, she has had the opportunity to watch this team grow. Long said working with the team was fun, even though this is her last season with them. The Hawks were busy again this past weekend. Men's baseball toppled Maryville in Game 1, 13-2 and 16-6 in Game 2. Ryan Snyder set the QU home run record with his 17th home run of the season. Softball ended their season against Indianapolis, falling both games 4-0 and 12-3. Jackie Farback and Lindsey Green both finished with 2 hits for the Lady Hawks. Men's tennis fell to UIS 6-3 with Chris Bueller and Daniel Vassar picking up the only win for the Hawks, while women's tennis grabbed the win 8-1 with Amy Kuehl and Sydney Lynch taking the doubles win along with Anna Morrissey and Morgan McGinnis. Coming up this week in sports, baseball takes on Rockhurst April 13th and May 1st at Quincy Stadium. Men's and women's tennis cap their season off April 27th against Lewis and Clark Community College and waits for their spot in the GLVC tournament in Romeoville, Illinois. Softball is also waiting their pick in the GLVC tournament that will be held in East Peoria, Illinois, April 29th through May 1st. That does it for this semester's sports. For the final time, I'm Carly Betancourt. Thanks for tuning in to my weekly sports updates. Back to you, Ryan and Derek.
Coming up next, a large reptile comes into a home because of flooding.
You don't want to miss this, and we have our last video producer pick of the week. We'll be right back.
It isn't a building. It isn't an arena or field. It isn't a classroom. It's a friendship. It's the bonds you form. It's an opportunity. It's the experience. It's a cute thing. Schedule your visit today.
When you first step into your new home, there are a few things that you definitely don't want to see, and an alligator is on that don't list.
But that was the case at one Louisiana home, and the uninvited house guests just didn't want to leave. Lacey Sharp reports.
The floodwaters aren't just bringing out the snakes and spiders. An alligator took up residence in this home being built in Sterlington.
And all of a sudden I saw something wave at me, and it was the alligator's tail itself. I got a little bit closer. I said, what in the devil is that? Got a little bit closer, big alligator.
David Bradford was the first to spot the reptile, and he says he's never seen anything like it.
Never in a house, never. I've never seen one that big, or matter of fact, in a house at all.
Jeremy Pruitt, an experienced alligator hunter, says he was just as surprised.
Just kind of freaked me out. I'm like, man, how'd this thing get in here? And what's he doing?
And the alligator didn't take too kindly when asked to leave.
He was hissing at me a little bit. He was pretty upset because I was supposed to take him out of his house.
Jeremy, with the help of his dad, Jeff Pruitt, tied the alligator up and forced it out of the home. Jeremy says the birds and the bees are to blame for this uninvited guest.
It's alligator's mating season. He's going around looking for a companion. He can't stay where he is because there's probably a bigger bull alligator there that drove him out, so he's got to go find his own girlfriends.
Lacey Sharp reporting, KNOE 8 News.
Derek, that is definitely something I wouldn't want to see when I walk into my new house.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be too pleased if I walked into a brand new house and it was there.
That'd be pretty scary. Thank you all for joining us this semester's final episode of QU All Access. Remember to tune in online on Facebook or on Channel 97 on campus for more news anytime. From the entire QU All Access team, I'm Ryan Snyder.
And I'm Derek Lambert. Ryan, I'd like to thank you for being on for my right-hand man this semester, and I do wish you the best for the future. I'm sure it will be a grand slam for you.
I appreciate that, Derek.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for our Semester in Review show.